Yep, local's going. Curtis already started his, so now it's on you, Luke.
Okay, right. I've loaded up the wrong minute. Hang on.
It's fine.
Here we go.
Just wing it. We'll do it live.
I'll keep all this in for no reason whatsoever. Right. Here we go.
Keep that too.
I shall.
Wow. Don't keep that.
Right, I'll keep this in, but I'll cut this out.
Right.
Yeah.
Hello, this is 2 Minutes About Time with Luke Allen and Robert E.G. Black, the podcast that takes a look at the film About Time 2 minutes at a time. I am Richard Curtis, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you don't, well, you can just travel back in time 2 minutes and listen to something else.
I'm one of your hosts, Luke Allen. I'm joined, as always, with my co-host, Robert E.G. Black.
Hello.
And our special guest for this week, Curtis.
Hey, everybody. I'm Curtis from the Better Off Dead Minute, half of the podcast team.
Why did I think you were nearly going to say, hey, I'm Curtis from last episode?
Oh, that would have been better, because then they would have known me from somewhere.
Yeah.
It's fine, you can do it for Friday.
Well, since Monday they went and listened to Better Off Dead Minute, they've caught up.
Yeah, they've had the entirety of the rest of Monday and Tuesday, so they've listened to the whole show.
They're like on minute 45, and they're saying, why are there references in this newest episode from 2016?
Right, so the first line is Ori.
Of what?
Of this
Of
minute.
what?
Minute 43 in About Time. It's not just like the first line of About Time, which would also be brilliant if they just opened it with Ori.
Ori.
Yeah, so last minute concluded with Rachel McAdams saying the iconic line of "S," and was finished off this week with Ori.
Mm-hmm.
And
Classic McAdams.
so Tim says, obviously, I should have thought of this through more. Let's talk about Kate Moss, which she follows up with, I love Kate Moss. And he says, I always think the key thing with her is the history. She says, yes. You know, the informality of her early shots compared with the high fashion stuff, so you always know that underneath, she's still just the same cheeky, normal girl naked on the beach.
It's actually impressive that he remembered it, like, word for word.
Nearly. I think it was normal naked girl rather than normal girl naked.
See, when Phil Connors, invented Phil Connoring like this, or gaslighting, you might want to call it, he was a news guy who read off scripts all the time, and you can accept that he could memorize it. Maybe lawyers have to memorize things too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay, I accept it.
But I also think...
That's why he's a lawyer,
lawyers.
so he could remember this.
I also think, when you're... At least this is when I've found with, the few times I've talked to someone I've had, a crush on or whatever, that I tend to remember a lot of the conversation word for word. Is that weird?
I don't know.
It's been so long since I've been in the crush phase.
Yeah, this is the this is the reason we have a teenage co-host, so we can get all the interesting insights.
I did post this line from her the other day on Instagram in response to someone who said Kate Moss was their muse. Didn't respond.
What this whole
Nice.
Her whole line about Kate Moss. I did put that it was a quote from About Time, but
This is a conversation I want to have, because
if
Kate
someone
Moss-
talks about Kate Moss, I'd say this, and that would be the end of the conversation because Kate Moss is way before my time.
Was Kate Moss 2013?
well, no, but this scene is 2007, and this exhibit was real.
Oh,
They moved it for the filming of the movie, but
it
there was a
didn't
real
occur to
exhibit.
me that they were doing period within the movie. I didn't think about that.
Oh, we only figured that out when they got to the exhibit.
Yeah, it's like the film took
Oh.
place over 9 years, and for some reason in my head, all of those 9 years were 2013.
Yeah, me too. Ooh, weird. Okay, so Kate Moss. Let's go back to Kate Moss for a second.
Yeah, so it says
Mhm.
here that the mid-90s was her main point. of fame.
That's when she got big, yeah.
Yeah, so
Is
that
this-
was 10 years before I existed.
People that aren't photographers and have to work with her. People that aren't in magazines and have to work with her. People that are just out in the street. Just a girl who's a book reader for a publishing house. Are they?
Yeah.
Are there Kate Moss fans that way? I understand.
I mean, there must be.
I understand.
I meant
If there's young
I
men
meant what I
who
said
are
about
into
Instagram.
her.
Someone just called her their muse in 2020.
But what does that mean? What does Kate Moss do? Kate Moss is listening. I'm sorry. What does she do besides do
Kate
real
Moss,
pretty?
come on the show and tell us what you do.
I mean,
Actually, I don't know what she does now. She's had lines of clothing. She did lots of modeling, and this exhibit was a real thing. She did multiple times with Mario Testino because they did a lot of photos together. And
well, yeah,
He
she
was
does
a
lots
huge
of photos
photographer.
together. She
But
doesn't dress
I don't
like
know.
Kate Moss. She doesn't do her hair like Kate Moss. There's no Kate Mossy things happening in her life whatsoever.
oh, for Mary, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm researching Kate Moss, and I don't really get what separates her from like any other model.
Sometimes that's just luck. Once you know a name of one, you recognize it again when they're in a photo, and so then they just keep getting more jobs and more photos, and they're on more magazine covers.
Yeah.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy sort of thing.
I guess.
And by 2007, she was mostly in the past, but was now a brand. So, I don't know.
There's a blog page entitled "I Shot Kate Moss." I assume photography-wise,
Probably, yeah.
and I don't
We
really
can
get
hope.
the point. I'm trying to see whether there's anything down. Oh, it's
Well,
just
for a photography, it's big.
yeah. It's also someone complaining about the fact they posted some picture and it got taken down on Instagram because it was nudity, and that seems to be the entire point of the article.
There's a lot of that on Instagram complaining about getting
Instagram
taken
has
down for
rules.
But yeah, as someone born after the Kate Moss period, I do not understand. I mean, I think like models and supermodels and all of that wasn't even really a thing in my lifetime.
No, they're not really a thing anymore. I mean, people will get famous that are models, but then they do other things.
It's
Yeah.
more Instagram now. I can talk a little
Well,
bit
yeah,
about this.
Instagram now, you got people, influencers and stuff, but I don't know of any that are huge. I know there are some that are huge, but I don't follow people just because they're that.
No, it's weird.
What I find weird, going back to the movie, is I assume this was a line that Mary worked on. She knew she was going to the exhibit this week. She wanted to like say this thing to someone at the exhibit and impress somebody. And now he's saying it word for word, and she's like, okay, I got another time traveler on my hands. This is going to be interesting. She knows.
Oh yeah, Rachel
That's weird.
McAdams. Like, I feel like all of her characters just know time travel because it's just embedded in the Rachel McAdams universe.
See, I have a built-in code for time travelers. I won't say it here because then everyone would know. But there's a code you can say to me where I know you're a time traveler.
And how did the time travelers?
I haven't
know
met
that?
one yet. Well, they get it in the future by proving they time traveled. Then
So
they just
do
come
you-
back. That's the first thing they say, and I believe them.
Do you reveal the code in the future?
Eventually, yeah. Once I know they're a time traveler, I reveal it. So this next time, I'll believe them faster.
Okay.
It's like a bootstrap paradox kind of thing.
Oh, I see what you're doing. That's a pretty good idea. That's way better than writing a note to yourself to saying time travel back to now if you can.
I would never go back to me if I was time traveling because I don't like me.
Oh, I'd be like, lay off the pizza, dude.
I'd go somewhere else.
I would say it would be dangerous, but I think anything would be dangerous, except maybe the future.
The future is just an apocalyptic wasteland.
But I mean,
Full
you
of
can't
COVID-19 and
mess up
zombies.
the present by going to the future. I don't think.
We could try.
Sure, if you end up discovering time travel, Robert,
No.
contact me and we'll try and mess up the present.
Okay,
for the future.
Curtis has seen the movie, so I can get to this spoiler. What you do is once you know that like time traveling before a kid is born is a problem,
Oh,
you
no.
take a friend of yours who has a kid back in time and fuck up their kid. Oh, bleep that. Mess with someone else's kid and be like, oops, so sorry.
Oh
Don't
man,
know how to
that,
fix that.
No, but they
that
wouldn't
just brings
know.
up something. That just brings up something I'm dying. To
No,
talk
you
about.
take them with you like he does Kit Kat,
Yeah,
so that they do know.
yeah. Because once you take the chains off and you can take people with you, this movie is
Mhm.
broken.
Yeah, he only does it once, and it ends badly, and so you can assume he never does it
He
again.
does it once, and that's like partially the problem I have with the film. Like it makes more questions than the relevance of that scene needing to be in the film.
We'll get to that when we get to that, but I love that sequence.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I do.
I mean,
wish,
there's
though-
few
But
things.
it does leave open, why does he never tell Mary? Why do these guys in the Lake family keep secrets from their wives? Let her in on it. Let her go with you. Take vacations in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could
need
really save money on holidays by just reliving
need a
the
week
same
off.
holiday over and over
Right.
again.
You already paid for that vacation. Let's take it again this year.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and-
there's...
and-
Oh.
I want to leave
There's
this
so
little
many
nugget with you
things.
guys for the future talk.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't have to be. Once we know there's more than one time traveler, and we know that Dad can't go back before their birth, but Dad could have been the one to go back to with Kit to fix everything, and then he would have been fine. Kit could have been fine,
Right, because
and
then
he could-
Tim wouldn't know his kid was changed.
right. Well, and his kid wouldn't change. The exact sperm still
Well, the
would have
kid
landed
might
there.
change, but everything would change around it. So
What
only
if
the dad
Mary
would know.
also has the time traveling secret, but she keeps it secret so none of us know?
Maybe everyone does.
They
Except
just
for you.
the entire world is just conspiring to make them think that they're the only ones.
Everyone thinks they're the only one who can time travel. Just people constantly erasing things, doing things over, giving up.
That'd be an interesting film. It'd be very hard to do, but wouldn't it just be like reality just changes constantly?
Did you ever see, there was a website, it was up, I think it was in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was like a long time ago on the internet.
You mean to tell me it's been erased?
It probably still exists. It was like this time travel police website, and it was just reports constantly of them having to go back and stop people from killing Hitler because it doesn't work. And it was like, I had to go stop someone from killing Hitler again.
You can't kill
man.
Hitler or shag
It's
Helen
like
of Troy.
every report is the same thing. Like, I had to go back to the 30s again. What is wrong with you time travelers? You rookies need to stop it.
Yeah, it's so clear. You can't kill Hitler or shag Helen of Troy. Those are the two rules. Right. Well, do you know what the name of the thing would have been?
Oh,
I've searched
I will
time
Google
travel
it.
police, and it comes up with TARDIS Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, that's going to be
Yes,
a
of
hard
course it
one to
is.
get around.
Yeah. Police arrest time traveler from 2048, warning about alien invasion. That was an article from the Metro in 2017, so I'm sure that's very accurate.
Well, little did you know that was going to actually happen in 2020.
Yeah, we're just so caught up in this whole current situation that we don't notice alien invasion until it's too late.
That actually did literally just happen, kind of. The Pentagon just released footage of HBO or of
Oh, the UFOs, yeah.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Yeah,"
And everyone
but
was just
COVID.
like, yeah, that makes sense. No one cares anymore.
I
Like
haven't heard
Aliens
about that.
2.
It's 2020. We expect it at this point.
That's basically how it went over. It was like, they just gave us UFO footage, which is kind of them saying, we don't know what these were.
Right,
Which is horrible.
Luke, have you
I'm
not
just
It
heard
doesn't
this?
have to be
now.
aliens. Anything that flying around that they don't recognize is bad. But we're like, we just shrug.
Why
Okay.
have they released it then?
And it was craft that could go against 120-mile-an-hour wind and outrun our planes. The reason I think they released it is that the Pentagon they were constantly fielding questions about, is this real or is this not real? And they kept having to go, yes, it's real, yes, it's real. It was becoming a pain, so they're just like, look, it's real, here it is. It's official.
Yeah, I mean the fact that that's just slid under the radar.
I found a reference to the Hitler website, but I don't know if it exists anymore. It was a wiki history by Desmond Warzel. Where one of the bylaws of the International Association of Time Travelers states that you can't kill Hitler. Problem is, everybody kills Hitler on their first trip. And so at least more experienced time travelers the onerous task of undoing the historical edits of the noobs. That's just a reference in a Gizmodo article, but I can't find the original.
I mean, I
website.
guess the big thing is, if you were to go back in time and kill Hitler, then there would have been no reason for you to have gone back in time in the first place. So aren't you just creating
Well,
a paradox?
That's one version of time travel.
It really depends on like how your timelines are working.
Does the butterfly effect count as a time travel film?
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
For
absolutely.
sure.
Okay. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I like that.
Oh, I love that movie.
I'm gonna.
Especially with the bleak ending added.
Oh yeah, I think that's the only version I've got. That's the director's cut, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched the ending separately when I wrote about it.
Oh, okay. The one where he strangles himself in the womb.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that's the only version of the film I've seen. So
Oh, yeah. I didn't know there was a different an ending where that wasn't the ending.
Yeah, the theatrical ending is actually kind of happy-ish.
Oh, wow, that sounds terrible.
was there like an issue with that other ending then?
Yeah. I think they thought that was a little too bleak in test screenings, maybe. People wanted a good ending. I'm like, did you watch the movie? It's not supposed to have a good ending. The whole point is that no matter how much you try to fix things, horrible stuff is horrible stuff.
So how crap are the sequels? I haven't touched them.
I've never seen them. I watched the original and wrote about it in my blog a few times, but I never watched them more.
About time, that's what we're on. I don't think we've got past the first line, have we? Oh, we did the Kate Moss thing.
Yeah. And then she jumps in and repeats the beach. I agree with you completely.
And then Tim says, if we leave now, then we can have, more than one starter. I feel like that line makes me feel as though he's referencing something that we haven't heard.
I always assumed, I just want to jump in here, not knowing what that means, I assumed it was just a English word for conversation threads.
No, I thought he meant appetizers.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
Which is it?
And I'm wondering if maybe it was a specific reference to something that we didn't see in the dark.
That's what I was thinking.
Like maybe they talked about starters and it just ended up getting cut from the movie.
I had no idea that you don't use the word starter.
It's used, but
no clue what that is.
Not what we normally call it now.
I think that's why that whole Monty Python sketch in Meaning of Life about conversation starters is so good.
Well, yeah, because it's part of the restaurant using starters both ways, yeah.
Yeah.
And as I've said, every time we've mentioned Monty Python, if the listeners want to hear me and Robert and Alice Lauren talking more about Monty Python, there we go. When I was talking more about Monty Python and a brief conversation about starters, then they can listen to the Please Be Seated Monty Python specials over on the Please Be Seated podcasts. Check it out.
Many hours.
We recorded them all out of order for no reason, didn't we?
I think because you didn't know that we were going to be the guests on each one at first, and we had a certain thing in mind.
And then I think, after I recorded the first one, I was like, let's do all of them as a group. And then, for some reason, I just carried on the out of order, because we did Meaning of Life, then Holy Grail. Meaning of Life, then Holy Grail, then Life of Brian, then and now for something completely different, and then our conclusion episode. So, about time. Well, we are talking about it, but the minute 43.
Yeah.
The beach. She agrees with him completely. They're going to have more than one starter. And he says, I love your eyes. And I love the rest of your face too. And she's more impressed with the concept of more than one starter. She says, more than one starter? She says, 10 amazing starters. And I mean, me and Robert discussed this earlier while you were away, Curtis. Sometimes the starters are just nicer than the meal.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Especially as vegetarians.
I didn't know this before this episode, but it turns out I live for starters.
Pretty good. I don't know about a Greek restaurant having 10 starters, though.
Yeah. And apparently, when we get... Actually, we're in the Greek restaurant later on. I might as well bring up the Greek restaurant discussion when we're in the Greek restaurant.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Good points. I haven't actually managed to watch the commentary for this minute, so I'm just reciting what I remember of the commentary. Lack of prep. Mostly because I thought I had more time, but then we had to go shopping, and we had to queue outside the shop 2 meters apart for about half an hour. So, yeah, some busy stuff. I assume your shop situations are quite similar, right?
I haven't gone to one that had that long a line. When I've gone to a grocery store, I just go early in the morning.
I live in the middle of nowhere. We just go to the store.
And we had to go to a Home Depot for some stuff, and that one had a line, but the line moved relatively fast.
You guys heard me live reporting the first case ever in our county. So
yeah,
I'm surrounded by people that think it's a fake, like, Democrat conspiracy to get rid of Trump.
Because it hadn't gotten there yet.
Yeah, nobody knows anybody.
I feel like we should talk more about starters before this gets really upsetting.
I think we're done with starters.
We are a bit, actually. Good point.
We got to get on to 44, though.
She says, after you, thanks. And is there anything on visuals for this minute? Or are we...
Oh, no, it's pretty basic. She does do a cute thing when he's talking about her face, where she covers up her face with her hands. But otherwise, no.
Isn't there a point? Is it only in the trailer where he says about her face, and then he says, and he hasn't even started to look down? Like, I feel like there's a line like that in some part of the film, because I remember it, and every time I watch it, it's not there.
And your pillows, Mary. I want to fluff your pillows.
I know that reference, but I don't know what the reference is.
It's from a very old movie called Roxanne. It was a Steve Martin movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that years ago.
It was like a modernized remake of Cyrano de Bergerac, and he was feeding him lines, but the radio cut out, so the guy had to improvise.
Right
Right, I'm gonna really quickly play the About Time trailer to myself, just to see whether I can prove my point. Oh, there's 2 trailers. Heck. Sorry, we're getting some harsh language on this show. I've said heck twice already.
Yeah. This episode is adult rated.
It's not allowed on my Christian Minecraft server.
That's okay. We're going to be talking about sex, next week?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. He says, I love your eyes. I love the rest of your face too. I haven't even begun to look further down, but I'm sure it's all very fantastic.
Huh.
And that's only in the trailer.
Yeah.
Huh. That's weird. It's a good line as well. A little weird, but it fits with Tim's awkwardness. That would have been fine, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I mean, This is such a subtle... Editing is such a subtle art. If you leave that in right after he uses her own line at her, and he's already kind of gaslighting, if he then starts talking about how much he'd like to look at her boobs, does that go too far? You don't know until you see it in context because of the way the editing works.
Mm. Well, I think in the trailer we don't even see his face as he says it. Yeah.
Well,
no, we're on her because she covers hers.
He says it briefly. We see his face when he says it's all very fantastic. But anyway, this might be an occasion where I'd play a clip in the edit. We can do that, right, with fair use?
Yes.
Fair use, here's a clip.
I love your eyes.
Do you?
I love the rest of your face too. Haven't even looked further down, but I'm sure it's all fantastic.
Wasn't that a great clip? Top notch. Or not, dependent on your opinion. The listener, we want to keep you.
It's a great clip, but I see now, hearing it, why they took it out.
Yeah. You see now hearing it.
My problem is...
Yes.
That's the title
I
for this
agree with
episode.
Robert. I think there's no way for me to go back and not know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't go back and see the movie again for the first time and see how I would react.
Yeah.
Right.
As an editor, I'm thinking the person that watches this the first time, what are they thinking? I can't be that person and see that same way anymore.
We could go back in time, edit it back into the film, and then bring you on again and see what your reaction is like. But only we would have the comparison.
Right. And then if you told me, it'd be weird and awkward.
Although, can he take things with him?
Apparently, he can take Kit Kat.
But true. She's not a thing, but her clothes do go with her. His clothes go with him.
But he can't take his clothes or the phone he's
I got
using.
it. I figured out his problem.
What?
You take the kid with you.
And then
Especially when it's a baby. It gives you like an extra year.
Just
And
imagine
then you
Just
take
take
the
it in
kid
a
back.
carrier.
Oh my god, no, yeah. That would work. You just take the kid with you, and then you just bring the kid back.
But his clothes change, don't they?
Oh, they do. That's right.
Oh, maybe that's the problem. He takes Kit Kat back because she was also at that party. So he could take her back.
So if you took a baby back to before the baby was born...
It would be inside the mother.
Anyway, should we go into 44?
Yes.
That's still this episode, actually.
10 minutes is long enough for any tangent, I think.
Is that how long we've been?
No, it's a reference to the first line of minute 44.
Oh, wow. Bravo. I hadn't even begun... Hang on. I haven't even begun to look down at the script, but I'm sure it's fantastic.
Getting this now.
If
Only
I'm
took us 44 episodes. No, not 44 episodes.
We've got
22 episodes.
We've got so many good quotes in this episode for the title. It only took us 44 episodes, but we finally got it.
That one would be confusing, though, because it isn't the 44th episode. Well, maybe that makes it better. I don't know.
Yeah, we recorded 44 episodes, but we've gone back in time and re-recorded several of them.
Right, we record each one twice.
Yeah.
First time you
Get it
record it, and
perfect.
then the second time you just appreciate it.
This is all like 100% scripted to get the exact balance between humor, comedy, and feeling still realistic.
So we record it, then we have someone transcribe it, and then we come back a week later and record it again, reading off the transcript, just to get the play.
Yeah. And as the listeners can tell, like, we're really good actors, so...
Mhm.
I mean, he's not even called Robert. He's an actor called
I'm
Graham.
Irish.
He's an Irish bloke called Graham.
My real name is Graham Curry. Mhm.
And I'm actually Donald Gleason.
You're doing a very good British accent.
Yeah. And
I
Curtis,
was going to say you're doing a good ginger accent, but
Curtis,
that's
he's
not
just
the thing.
here. We don't know why.
That's actually Rachel McAdams doing Curtis right now.
It's
that
true.
makes sense. That would be too weird as an out of context title.
Yes.
We'll ignore
Oh, no,
that
go
one.
with it.
Yeah.
Go with it.
The description for this episode will just be all the alternate titles, just in a list.
Can I do like? Did you see the Doctor Who spin-off Class? Talked about it? Yeah.
The what?
So, you did say. So, yeah, so they had that episode, The Metaphysical Engine, or What Quill Did. We just have each title, or.
Uh-huh. No description for the episode, just titles.
how we
That's the
do
name of the episode, and then our episode is called No Description for this episode, just titles, and then the description is just titles.
Yeah.
We've nailed this.
I want to go
I
deep
get
for a
this
second.
podcasting business.
I want to go deep for a second. This is
Okay.
this is their official first meeting in the movie. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
the one
yes.
that takes.
As far as we know.
Is it also, with all due respect to the filmmaker, the weakest scene in the movie?
Yeah? It's the weakest of the three meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it could have been, I think it would be a better meeting if their banter here was more how they talk through the rest of the movie.
That's what it is. Thanks, Robert. That really helps me put my finger on it.
'Cause,
They're not themselves.
It is
in
a
this scene.
nice scene, but it doesn't quite feel like
That's true.
Mary and Tim.
It's lovely Rich Curtis banter dialogue. But is
But it's not
it
them.
Tim and Mary?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Especially her. She never gets the chance to be this kind of like sarcastic playing off of him thing. He does it a little bit
What I'm going to say
because
is
he's in every scene.
either just to give this something to continue this film being absolutely perfect and all intentional is either it's another unreliable narrator thing or Mary's trying to make a good impression on Tim and she's sort of becoming someone she isn't.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but that isn't really. They don't go that deep. They don't do that kind of deep character work in any other scene, where you have to guess what's up.
Well, right. They could have had this banter in the dark.
Yeah,
But in the dark, they spoke slowly. They didn't speak over each other. They weren't having fun with it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's never bothered me before, to be honest.
it doesn't bother me at all. It's the weakest. It's the weakest scene in a strong movie.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Nothing's going to stop this film from being my all-time favourite film.
Oh, it's definitely one of my current need to watch it again movies.
Yeah. I know, well, one of the guys I'm trying to get on as guest on this show is a radio presenter who's interviewed me on local radio several times, and every time I mention this is my favourite film, he laughs at me. So I'm like, right, we'll get this guy on the show. And hopefully he is. We're just trying to schedule it. Anyhow, about time. 10 minutes is long enough for any party, I think. She says, oh yeah, especially that one. And then we get Rupert. Oh, yeah, this is Rupert's best moment, I think. Where Rupert comes by, and he says, evening all, and Tim says, what a do we need, is that a bleepable thing or nah?
Not in the US.
I'm going to consult my peers on this later on. I don't know. We'll find out. I like the idea that we bleep it out entirely so the listeners have no idea what I've said, and then we just got me discussing whether it's bleepable or not.
That would be funnier, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we've done.
Now you have to bleep it.
Yeah.
But now we talked about it. You have to delete this too.
That won't be happening. This is all in. I'll keep this in, but not this. I've already
Put it
done
in
that
as an-
joke.
Put
You
it
did,
in
you
as
made
an
that joke
after song.
I'll cut that one out. Or this one.
Just
Sorry,
go
what
back
did
in
you
time
say,
and
Chris?
redo it.
Right.
I'm in a dark room.
We do.
Actually,
Constantly. This is the final version.
that's kind of a missed opportunity, guys. You could go back and redo okay. This would get to be a pain in the ass podcasting. Oh no, I did it. Podcasting wise, but you should at the end of the show pick a conversation and rehab the same conversation, and then at the end of the show just go into a dark place.
re-edit old conversations into a new one.
Right.
But, I mean, that requires effort and, like,
Sure, there's that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But also, to those listeners thinking, is this really the best we can do? Yes, it is, and it's took a lot of work to get it this time. So,
But that's okay, because Mary can't even put a sweater on properly from take to take, so we're better than that.
So we see Rupert, who then we go to, she agrees, yeah.
Why
cool.
does she agree with him? What What about him makes him so...
Can we talk about the finger guns? It's
What?
amazing.
Well, she doesn't see that.
No.
That's after she turns.
And
around.
I've done finger guns, but that is the best finger guns I have seen in a film, in context-wise. I just love that as like an additional gag where we briefly focus on him for that.
Yeah, why she agrees is interesting though. But also last week, I was overruled by the Brits on him being immediately unlikable, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I didn't like him. A minute later, I didn't like him when he said "Poochie face," but at first, I'm like, yeah, he seems fine.
Yeah, we hated him the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know. So what does he do here that it's okay that she agrees?
Because she's trying to impress Tim, and if Tim thinks it, then she does.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what I've thought.
The way she says yeah, it doesn't necessarily seem like she actually agrees, but she's saying it.
Oh, heck.
Anyway, Rupert. Uh-oh.
Did we lose him?
Maybe.
Okay.
Well, that means I can take this time to talk about Mary's sleeves.
Tell me why.
It's not that bad, but from behind, she's putting on her right sleeve first, and then they switch. She's putting on the left sleeve first. And I'm like, how do you mess that up? And then I got stuck in my head. I'm like, do I always put my jacket on the same sleeve first, or like do I put shirts on a certain way? I'm like, it seems like you would, but I don't know, and I don't know how to check because as soon as I'm thinking about it, that messes it up.
Right. My thing is, I know for sure that I put it on the same way every time because I've got like an injury on my right arm that I'm nursing.
Mm.
So right always goes in first because the left is my bendy arm.
But it's like Rachel McAdams has never put on a cardigan before because she does it two different ways.
This is in minute 45? No, minute 44.
No, it says they're walking out and Rupert goes by.
Yeah, I got
When
it.
they're showing them from the back and from the front.
I
She's
gotta go
doing it
look at
differently.
this. She's putting in the right hand.
Mm-hmm. You can cut back. She's putting it in the left.
No,
And the other one,
she's
it's like-
she's shoving it through her
Who does
right
that?
arm, and the left is not in.
Hello?
And then the next scene, she's
Hello.
got the left in, and she's putting it through her right arm again.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
So-
weird.
With the left arm already in place.
So what have
So
I
she's-
missed?
The
Rachel McAdams doesn't know how to put a cardigan on.
Okay.
She puts it on weird. Well, she puts it on two different ways.
Yeah, she puts it on twice. Well, she never puts her. Hold on. Her left arm just appears in the sweater, but she puts her right sleeve on twice.
Right, which means the first time she put her right sleeve on first, the second time she put her left sleeve on first.
Right.
Which is why I got stuck thinking about how I put on things with sleeves. I'm like, do I do it one at a time, and do I always do it the same one first?
Now I'm going to look at Rachel McAdams putting on a sweater or well, more a cardigan.
Yeah, cardigan.
I think we hardly use the word sweater.
Not a
here.
jumper.
Not a jumper, no. Oh, yeah. That's weird.
Now he sees it.
Yeah. I can't believe that wasn't picked up, like, by continuity.
Well, they had what they had. The actress didn't want to be shoving her arm into the actor. So when they were doing coverage,
Right, on the different angle.
right.
I just find it weird that she'd put it on one sleeve first and then put it on the other sleeve first, because I'm sure I don't do that. Like, I'm sure I'm also always right arm first.
I think I
I'm
am.
not.
I'm not
But
sure.
I don't know, and I'm afraid to check, because then I'm going to get stuck going down a weird rabbit hole in my head.
Yeah, next
Yeah,
time you
clothes on.
next time you put on a jacket or a coat or anything, you're gonna.
I'm going to freeze.
Yeah, but you're not an
And be like,
actress.
wait, which
You're not an actress trying to put a sweater on who has to do it from the back and from the front.
I might be.
all
For complete-
without punching your
complete
fellow
lack of
actor.
interest. The complete lack of interest of our listeners, or possibly two. My dressing gown's just on the other side of the room. I'm going to put it on and see what arm goes in first. Just see how this works.
See, but you're thinking about it, which means
Yeah,
it
it
might
doesn't
be
count.
different.
maybe
but who
maybe it
knows?
won't be the normal way.
Let me find out. Can I?
What you need to do is just put it.
I can turn on my video and it
Don't
will mean
bother.
nothing.
It'll be better here.
For some reason, my dressing gown isn't where it normally is, but for the same strange reason, or probably not, for another strange reason, the blazer for my school that I haven't been to for 2 months and have now left was, and I put in the left arm first.
Okay. I put both my sleeves on at the same time. I throw the blazer in the air, catch it.
and let it fall on you. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's how
Usually
I do
it's on
blazers.
top of my head and looks horrible, but it's fine.
You actually just put your legs in first.
Yeah, on a blazer, definitely.
Yeah.
So we got Rupert with his pistols. Pistol.
And they
I
are-
just don't.
Which reminds me, when I was in the school production of High School Musical, which I've talked about last week, I knew I wouldn't remember the dances. So me and a group of friends decided that in the audition with the dances, well, in the background of like a whole chorus with the audition, we would just do finger guns and just make up our own dance routine. And the dance teacher liked it so much that she joined us in the back and joined in the finger guns.
Everybody secretly loves finger guns.
I am a fan of finger guns. Although, ironically, more than anything.
It only starts off ironic. Your love is only ironic in the beginning. It becomes genuine over time.
Like my use of the word heck. That started ironic, now I can't stop. It's kind of an addiction. And like my watching of High School Musical, the musical, the series. Watched episode 1 ironically, I'm now hooked and can't wait till the next episode comes on Disney Plus UK on Friday. About time. That's what we're on about.
Mm-hmm.
Not High School Musical, the musical, the series, or St. Trinian's. She put on a jumper on Weird. No, it's not a jumper. That's what we said. It
Cardigan.
wasn't. She put on a cardigan on Weird, and then I checked how I put a cardigan on, but it wasn't a cardigan, it was a school blazer, but I'm assuming it's the same, otherwise that'd be weird. This is completely not of interest to any of our listeners, unless I upload a video onto our Instagram of me putting on a jacket, and then we can all have fun.
No, we have them all do it. All the listeners put up a video of you putting on a cardigan. So we can see how it works. And then we'll send links to Rachel McAdams.
Yes, without context to her either. We'll just send her an email with a series
email
of
with
different
100
videos.
links.
Wait.
Just with the caption, "This is how you put on a jacket."
Yeah.
Am I just an unwitting participant in a secret plot to get Rachel McAdams to talk to Luke?
To talk to any of us, really.
Why? Have we made
I think
that
he'd
joke
rather talk
twice
to
today?
Margot Robbie, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But no,
If we can get that on.
I'm more Rachel McAdams.
And in this conversation, we've already lost our chance of getting both of them on the show.
No, I never even looked down on either of them.
Good point.
So it's fine. And they're both brilliant. Can we go to the restaurant? Because I got information.
Go.
Ooh. It might be the same information I have.
Okay. Because, first of all, movie-wise...
Wait a minute. Whoa.
What?
Nobody
Yeah.
talk. I'll say go, and then you both start talking at the same time and see if it's the same.
Well, I have a note regarding the movie first. I
Okay,
like that it's
sorry.
very bright. Because their first meeting was in darkness. I like that when we cut to restaurant, it's a bright place.
Oh,
It's a
good.
great
Yeah.
encounter. But,
Okay.
yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
All right. Okay.
Okay,
Tell
ready?
us where to go.
1, 2, 3, go.
This was
It's
the main
the-
scene in the Greek advertising of the film.
Why? Okay,
It's a Greek
I didn't even get to
restaurant
my
and they
information
thought
because you
so.
distracted me because yours was nothing like mine was going to be. This was one of the dirtiest restaurants in the world.
Huh.
36 Leinster Terrace. At the time, it was called Zorba's. You can see it on the menu when they exit. It was shut down in 2017 due to, I have a list, charcoal grill and microwave clogged with grease, a raw meat stored on a filthy floor in the cold room, dirty food
Whoa.
containers with no labels in the fridge, cockroach eggs, mice droppings, and sewage flies breeding in the tahini dip.
Oh, not
Chef
just flies, but
Pavlos
sewage
Pittas was given an indefinite prohibition order from managing any restaurants ever.
Wow.
That's so much more interesting than my fact.
On TripAdvisor, 67% of 193 reviewers rated it terrible. One reviewer called it the dirtiest restaurant I have ever seen in the world and a horrible place and a dangerous place to eat.
Do we
It
happen
is
to
currently
know-
a different Greek restaurant called Mykonos.
do we happen
Also
to know-
today, I was watching the Faulty Towers episode with the health inspector, and so this is just brilliant. Faulty Towers is a thing you get in the States, right?
I
Yes.
watched it when I was in England, so I don't know.
But
Okay.
yeah, the answer is yes, but we're not that interested in it.
Right, we just don't care. We tried to make a remake and it sucked.
Yep, it did.
When do you Americans learn? Not to remake. The Office worked, okay. But
The Office worked for
That's
a
the
while.
exception to the rule. It's not the rule.
I'll take the Pepsi challenge on our House of Cards as too.
I didn't know it was a remake, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah. In England, it was like a two-parter movie or something.
Like a
And then we
3-part.
yeah, it was pretty good, but yeah, the American one was better
Okay.
until it
Fair
got
enough. I haven't watched
problematic. So
Yeah.
keep watching.
Yeah. I want to see the IT Crowd pilot that was supposed to be so awful. I can't see anything more than clips anywhere.
Yeah,
There's an American IT crowd.
There was going to be. It
Oh,
never
that's
got past
it
the
would
pilot.
just be a terrible.
Joel McHale was in it, And they kept Richard Ayoade, which was odd.
Well, he's amazing.
He is, but so is Chris O'Dowd. Just
Chris
the
O'Dowd's doing
normal
other
show.
stuff, you know. He has his own things like that. What's it called, Moon Boy or whatever?
I
That
don't
show's
know
great.
of it. I've seen him in a few. He did good in American films for a while, didn't he? He did This Is 40. He did, what's that movie called with Bill Murray? Saint something again. Ah, do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Yes, but
Okay.
my brain
Do you have
isn't there because I'm looking at Chris O'Dowd. Moon Boy, I was
It-
right. That show's great. He plays the
What's
imaginary
the-
friend of a little Irish kid.
Oh, that one. Okay.
I don't know that one, but I'm intrigued. I'm more annoyed trying to think what this
Murray.
film's called.
I actually
I
saw
wrote
that in the
about it
theater.
in my blog, and I can't think of the title either.
St. Vincent.
Yeah, St. Vincent.
I know a guy who was in it, apparently. Well, I know of him. I've spoken to him a few times.
Well, I know of people in the movie as well.
All right. This guy is friends with me on Facebook, and he was also nominated for an award that I was nominated for, and he didn't win that award, but he won another award, and I didn't win anything. This is the American one, not the House of Commons one, by the way, if you're keeping track.
Of your awards you didn't win? Yeah.
Yeah. There's lots of awards I didn't win. I didn't win an Oscar, didn't win an Olympic medal.
I didn't win a Alternative Press Expo. I did a comic. I entered a contest for like self-published comics. I lost, which is fine. But the next day I was in a bad mood, so I put a sign in front of my comic, the copies for sale, that said "Award Losing Comics."
Oh, nice. I would have bought a comic based on that.
I think someone
Oh,
did.
yeah.
I think someone was like, "Wait, what does this mean? Award losing?" I'm like, well, here's what happened. This comic, who happens to be made by the guy who, like, a friend of the guy who was running the contest, won. Shocker. I mean, the comic was good, but still.
But in my defense, I haven't won a Razzie either, so, you know, I'm even.
Oh, I'd love to win a Razzie.
Yeah, I feel like that would actually be, like to be famous enough to win a Razzie. Because you have to be known
Right, you have
as
to be
good
famous enough
to
that
be-
someone cares that you're bad.
Yeah, that you made a bad thing. Yeah. Anyhow.
What does Mary
um,
do?
Well, could I finish my point about
Sure.
Yeah, so, when advertising in Greece, this was like the main scene they used for promotion because they thought, the Greek marketing team thought Greek people would like a scene in a Greek restaurant. And that was it.
You can barely tell it's a Greek restaurant. She picks
Exactly.
up food and you can't tell what it is.
I didn't know it
I
was
hadn't
Greek until
realised
you guys called
really
it
it was a
that.
Greek restaurant until they'd said it in the commentary.
I didn't know it was a Greek restaurant until you guys said it was. When you in a couple of minutes ago when you referred to the Greek restaurant, I was thinking to myself, "Oh, that must be in some minute I didn't watch."
That's another thing we're going to do on the show now, Robert. We watch different minute to the guest,
Yeah.
see whether they notice or whether they just carry on the conversation.
When the conversation
we
still
said-
makes sense, we'll be like, wow.
Heck, we send the guest a minute from a different time travel movie starring Rachel McAdams
Mm-hmm.
and see whether they notice.
It's like,
How
here,
many-
her husband, the time traveler.
Besides that one and this one, has she been in any others?
She's been in 3.5 because she's in Doctor Strange, but he doesn't time travel in that one. He time travels later.
Oh, okay.
But she's in Time Traveler's Wife, and she's in I always forget the name of the other one.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. And Rachel McAdams time travel movie. Come on. But she's never the time traveler.
No,
Which is right. The other movie is called
Midnight in Paris.
The only one, Midnight in Paris. I haven't seen any of them other than this. I really need to watch Time Traveler's Wife.
I
Is it
remember it
good?
being good. I only saw it once.
It's very good. It is.
Same with Midnight in Paris. I'm not a big Woody Allen fan, but I like Midnight in Paris. So.
It's a Woody Allen film. I don't know that one either. I'm just looking like literally right now as to how much it costs to get the Time Traveler's Wife on DVD. Probably not too much.
It's always
Annoyingly-
the answer is always about $5.
Well, there's a second-hand DVD store that's really close to me that are currently still doing deliveries, but it's like an extra £1.50 for postage. But like most films are 50p.
How much? So what's the conversion between $1 and a p and a pound?
A dollar is about 65 pence for us.
Okay.
So 50p would be like a little under $1.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good price.
it's a nice store. I tend to go there with the intention to buy one thing and come out
We
with
used to
plenty.
frequent a video rental place that was like 2 blocks from our house, and then they closed But for some reason, that weekend that they were doing their big sale and everything was cheap, I had literally no money.
Oh, that's awful.
I bought one movie.
Oh.
I bought a VHS copy of 3 on a Me Hook because I had to own it. My sister was buying like 30 films. I'm like, damn it, buy me some. She's like, no, I got to buy me some.
Okay, it's £1 with £1.50 postage, so I might go for it.
Oh, yeah.
Really annoyingly, my nan owned it and then didn't like it, and I didn't realise she got rid of it. So as soon as we started this podcast, I phoned up my nan. I was like, can I borrow Time Traveler to watch? She's like, I don't have it anymore. And somehow, through some other conversation, I ended up borrowing Singing in the Rain instead.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Don't know whether I've seen it all the way through, that's why I borrowed it. Yeah, so I need to watch that again. It's a movie about film, isn't it? You know.
Yes.
And I assume probably one of the first films about films. I don't
First
know.
big one.
Yeah. Anyway, about time. So, what does she do for a living? Well, what do you do, is what he says. She says, I'm a reader at a publisher. No, you read for a living? Yeah, that's it. I read. Oh, that's so good. It's like someone asking, what do you do for a living? Well, I breathe. I'm a breather. I get paid for breathing. How did you get that job? She says, okay, smartass, what do you do? He says, I'm a lawyer. Sort of. Sort of. What's the sort of?
Well, he's not a lawyer yet.
Yeah.
At this point in 2007, he's still in school.
He aspires to be a lawyer.
Whatever he's... I don't know how
now
it
he's
works in
just
England, but...
I don't know how it goes in England either, to be honest. So she says, that's sexy. He says, is it? He says, I mean, I think so. In a suit, in a court, saving people's lives. Kind of sexy. He says, I guess it is, although it's not as sexy as reading. Sitting there in an office. And that's where our minute ends. It's a good exchange.
This minute without the next one is not yet a good exchange, because he is...
Oh no, the next one is
he's being
so
patronizing and sarcastic, and she's not there yet. And
The
he
next
seems
one
like
is-
a jerk.
So, what do you think about her being a reader?
I like it.
Well,
I like
think
how
I
it
talked
comes
about
up
this
later.
earlier. It's a great way to have a librarian in your movie without having to go to the old she's a librarian trope.
Yep.
Yeah, fair enough. So we've talked about... Is there anything more to say about this minute? Like the way it's shot or anything like that? Because we have quite a good few things happening in this minute.
I'll just say it's a good job making the restaurant look nice.
Yeah. Do you think that what they eat is actually food from the restaurant, or do you think they use that as like prop food?
That's probably prop stuff, because they're not gonna... I'm not even sure what she eats. She eats something tiny.
I'm
we don't
just
really see them eating.
scanning right now to see what it is she puts in her mouth.
Well, she
It's
holds it in her
nothing.
mouth. It's like some wafer thing.
She just
Wafer
seems to be
thin.
chewing for some reason.
It's a wafer thin.
I'm trying to figure out what rate.
Oh.
It could be. It's the thing is, it looks as if it could be a Malteser, which would be really weird.
I don't think
could
they
be a
have
what?
those at Greek restaurants.
Yeah, probably not. I'd go to that restaurant though.
We talked about
100%.
some weird British food. Was it last week? I think
Is that a British thing?
that's not an American thing.
What's
Do you know what
even-
I'm talking about?
Reshare the word with me.
Malteser.
Malteser. Wow, that's crazy. Is Malteser okay? Based on what
It's a
she's
chocolate.
doing right now, and your word, is it some sort of bean?
Okay,
It's
it
like,
is a British thing.
okay.
It's
let
similar
me
to
screen share.
Whoppers, apparently.
Okay.
Am I screen sharing? Hang on, no, I'm not.
We have Google, Luke.
Yeah, all right. I like to come across cool and interesting. I don't know why it's pictures of dogs. There we go. Maltesers.
Because those dogs are Maltese.
Ah. Well, those are Maltesers.
They're Whoppers,
Pretty-
basically.
I don't know what they are, so
That
give it a Google.
I
Are they?
believe they just gave them a different name because they're both made by Mars.
Is it a round ball of chocolate with a crunchy inside?
A malt ball.
Yes. We'll have to compare at some point. I don't know how. Someone's probably done it, and we won't link it. You can find it yourself, listeners. We get all the work here. We do enough. I mean, look at all the effort we're putting in now. Like, we're talking and Googling at the same time. I mean, you should be impressed. Any final notes on this minute?
That was my final note on this one.
That was your final note.
That they made
Any
the
final
restaurant
notes,
look
Katie?
nice. Despite it must not have been.
The staging made me think the restaurant was across the street from where the party was.
I think that's deliberate.
Yeah.
Because when they show out the window, there is a building that's even similar in appearance to the Courtfield building.
Well, and it's the same kind of like if there were a theme in the street, having the pillars.
Yeah.
The pillars
It's actually
appear in
like a
both
mile
places.
away over on the other side of Hyde Park. So
Okay. They both got the They both got the Christmas lights decoration motif.
Even though it's June.
Good point. How did you figure out it was June?
Well, it's June because that's when the exhibit was. We saw the ad for it. And it's June because, I don't know, but she said something, or Harry's play was before a play in August. Because there was a newspaper article about that. But the gallery exhibit is from June 17th to 24th. 17th is probably this night, because it's a Sunday. And
Good work.
That means they went to the Danse Le Noir on Saturday. Might have been Friday and Saturday, but whatever.
Well, wait a
That
minute.
is...
Hold on. Before you go forward, how many days do you spend waiting for her?
5. Well, 5 that we see. She shows up on the 5th outfit.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm impressed. Like, good work. And I didn't even have time to listen to the director's commentary this week. So, Curtis, where can the listeners find you on social media?
The easiest place is just to go to my Linktree / Curtis Blaze, my name, CurtisBloes.
And Robert, where can the listeners find you?
Glendale?
Next to Mount Proto.
No, don't. We're in quarantine.
Have you got a direct address that you can tell them if they ask you?
Yeah, and they can do... I'll put the Google Earth image of it. They can figure out the address there on their own. Lemmingdrops.com is my website. Robert E.G. Black on social media.
The listeners can find me at home, but I'm not telling them where that is at all. Shropshire is pretty small, probably, in comparison to everywhere else in America.
I haven't found your house yet, and I've tried.
I will send you a picture of my house momentarily.
Well, I know it's near
just
school.
for the sake of it.
Because you walk the dog by there.
I'm scared that you're remembering these things.
This is what I do with people on the internet. If I ever hear someone's address, I will freak them out later by mentioning something next door.
Okay. Yeah, so the listeners can find me on Google Maps, but also on Twitter. That's it. At llama_bottle0. They can find me on Instagram at the Ginger Luke, on Facebook at Luke Allen Film. They can also find me on the podcast on they can find my stuff on lukeallen.co.uk. Podcast, short films, radio appearances, newspaper articles. I did so well last week. They can find this podcast, not last week, yesterday.
2 days ago.
They can find me on the podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 2 Minutes About Time, and join our Facebook group, The Cupboard, where we can talk about all things about time and the podcast and where I live, apparently. So,
Obviously.
I mean, who wants to miss out on that?
And bad Greek restaurants.
Yeah. And, yeah, so thanks so much for listening. Oh, heck, what did I say I was going to end this episode with? Oh, yeah, thanks so much for listening, and we'll smell you later.
All right.
Wait, didn't
Pressing
you?
stop?
Didn't you use that one last time?
I
You were
think
going to
you
go with
said
"Don't
I
get
was-
I
run
was
over."
wondering about that.
Don't get run over! That was it. Good point.
Oh.
Thanks for listening to this episode, and don't get run over. Right, I'm trying to figure out whether...
I was trying to figure out how to say
things-
goodbye in Greek, but it came up in a different alphabet, so I don't know how to pronounce it.
I'm gonna...
It looks like Avtio Aak.
The 2 Minutes About Time theme is performed by Ethan O'Mahony and is a cover of the About Time theme, originally composed by Nick Laird-Close. 2 Minutes About Time is a production of Lemming Drop Studios in association with Bottle O Productions.